So you've probably heard of the phrase, you are what you eat. Most of us are aware that a good diet is essential for our overall health and well-being and how we feel. But you might be surprised to find out how all-encompassing what we put in our mouth is to how our body feels overall. I'm not just talking about a stomach ache or maybe a headache, I'm talking about full-blown muscle aches and joint pain. The stuff we fix here in our office. So today we're going to be talking about inflammation. I'm going to tell you about what inflammation is, how it could be affecting you, and what you can do to help yourself. Stick around. Alright, so when we hear the word inflammation, most of us probably think of what happens after you sprain an ankle, or maybe you get a splinter in your finger. We've all seen it before. The area gets swollen, it gets red, heated, painful to the touch. That's all byproducts of your body rushing blood and other components that it needs to that area to heal more quickly and more effectively. But now imagine that whole reaction on a lower scale happening throughout your body, systemically. That's the kind of low-grade inflammation that we're talking about here. So why would our body do that? It can do it for several reasons. It can do it if you're fighting an illness, if you're not getting enough sleep, or you're really stressed out, and of course what we just mentioned, our diet, what we're eating and putting in our mouths. So what can happen if we're kind of low grade inflamed like that for a long period of time? It can cause some upset stomach. It can make you feel just really gross and lethargic, and kind of what we see the most here in our office, it can lead to muscle and joint pain, usually in the areas that you're most susceptible to it. So if you have like an office job and you have really tight traps and you're hunching over for a long period of time, if your body's systemically inflamed like that, it's going to compound that pain and turn that maybe just a muscle ache into a trigger point or a full-blown strain, something of that nature. Okay, so this might be you. Maybe those symptoms that we just talked about sound familiar. Maybe you hurt way too much for no good apparent reason. This could be a good strategy for you to try and combat that, reduce your inflammation. So how do we reduce our inflammation with our diet? First of all, you're gonna wanna avoid some things. Wheats, grains like breads, pasta, sugar, starches, alcohol, and artificial sweeteners. So let's kind of use a visual analogy. This is a plate, so just pretend that this plate represents your whole day's worth of food, your whole daily diet. The typical American diet is, let's say we divide the plate in half here. Over here you'll probably have grains and starches. So I'm talking about breads, pastas, sugar, potatoes, things like that, and the rest might be meats, vegetables, and maybe a few fats. That doesn't need to be you if you want to hurt less. If you want to hurt less, you're going to need to take all of that on this side, the grains, the flours, sugars, stuff like that, and you're going to need to reduce that to a sliver. It needs to be your once in a while, your reward perhaps. The rest of that plate needs to be healthy proteins like meats, vegetables, and healthy fats, the omega-3s, omega-6s, good fat that's good for you. That's your goal if you want to reduce your inflammation, feel better, reduce your joint and muscle pain. Okay, so what we just talked about are some easy, bare bones strategies that you can use to reduce your inflammation. If you're passionate about this subject, maybe you know that you have too much inflammation in your body, you've struggled with it before with some diets or something like that, please like this video. Please comment, tell us about your experience, and share it with those that you know could use to see it. This has been Dr. Ryan Moore with Cumberland Chiropractic and Sports Medicine, where we use this strategy to help get our patients better.